In this video, we'll compare Revolut and Crypto.com. Both of these apps have a lot of different services like payment cards, international payments, cash balances, crypto trading. I'll leave timestamps for all of the different sections down in the description below. Firstly, we'll look at the important bit, which is the different fees you'll be charged for trading on either Revolut or Crypto.com. And it is a bit complex. Revolut do offer trading in more types of assets. For example, commodities, individual stocks, national currencies, of course. So if you want to exchange those, and crypto. For Crypto.com, it's mostly crypto assets, but if you're into crypto, you'll know that most assets are tokenized these days. For example, national currencies, the stable coins, or if you want to buy a commodity like gold, you can do that very easily via the tokenized version. Crypto.com also give a bonus for new users. I'll leave that link down in the description below. If you click that link and go through and then set up your account, make your first deposit, make your first trade, and sign up for the card, you can get up to $50 as a bonus. If you don't want the card, I think you get a little bit less, but they do give a bonus. I'll leave the link below in the description if you want that. For Revolut, as of making this video and for most of the time, they don't give any bonuses for new users. Sometimes they do. You can check the link below as well if they're running anything at the time that you're watching this video. We'll get to the fees and charges for cards and other types of exchange in a second, but firstly, we'll look at buying and selling some Bitcoin. Revolut and Crypto.com have fairly high fees. For the most part, Crypto.com is cheaper than Revolut. However, if you're buying and selling any type of crypto, I highly recommend downloading the crypto-specific trading platforms from both Revolut and Crypto.com. These are the normal consumer-facing retail apps that you can download on your phone. However, separately, they also have Revolut X and Crypto.com Exchange. These are a separate app that you download on your phone, but you log in with your same account details. The trading fees on these platforms for crypto are way, way lower. So if you're buying and selling crypto, definitely download the separate app, log in with your same account, buy and sell exactly the same thing with much lower fees. So I highly recommend that if you can have access to them. For Crypto.com Exchange, it's not available in every single region, so you'll have to check where you live. For Revolut, if you have a Revolut account, you should be able to download Revolut X. And if you want to know exactly how to use either Revolut, Crypto.com, or their more professional versions, then I'll leave all of those videos down in the description. You can see how to trade, how to get money in and out, and absolutely everything else. You can just watch those videos if you need them. But looking at the fees on the consumer-facing apps, on Revolut, the fee to trade crypto is 1.49% or £1.50. Exchange that to whichever country that you're in as a minimum. So I went through with a sample trade, as you can see here, and I just wanted to exchange some USDC, which is a stablecoin, US dollar stablecoin, into Bitcoin. You can see the fees are outrageous because I had to pay a $2 fee as a flat fee just to get the exchange out. That's a 20% charge, right? A $2 charge of $10 is 20% initially. Now you can also see the exchange rate for my Bitcoin at the time of this trade was 112,763 per 1 unit of Bitcoin. I just wanted to buy a fraction of Bitcoin, $10 of Bitcoin. So you can see that is an insane amount of fees that I have to pay for this small transaction. Also, I want to highlight that the actual exchange rate of Bitcoin when I took these screenshots is up here. It was 110,414. That was the actual exchange rate on Binance. On Binance, that gives you the actual real exchange rate in the market, so there are no other spreads or anything else. You can see what Revolut are doing here is going out into the market, buying at 110,414, and then selling to me at 112,763. That's known as a spread in the price. It's not a fee, it's not an exchange fee, but they are putting a spread on the real price. They're buying the Bitcoin lower and selling it to me higher, which is a cost to me versus going out into the real market and buying it. Not only that, but they're also charging me $2 on top or 1.49%. That's outrageous. So try not to do that. On Crypto.com, it's a little bit easier. You can see here that there is no trading fee on Crypto.com on the consumer-facing app. They just charge a spread, and I worked that out to be around 70 basis points to maybe 1% or something like that. So the real price is 110,414. They were giving me 111,201. So their fee is in the spread between the real market price and the price that I got. So overall, for crypto, I would say Crypto.com is cheaper for the retail-facing app on most exchanges. That changes, however, if you use the dedicated crypto exchanges, Revolut X and Crypto.com Exchange. Both are much better and cheaper. However, As of right now, Revolut X is actually cheaper than Crypto.com exchange. So you get fees on these professional exchanges known as maker taker. And a maker is someone that uses limit orders. So you go into the order book, you put a limit order in at a price, and you wait to get the exchange done. If you want to take someone else's order and their price, you're known as a taker, and usually you pay slightly higher fees for that. If you want to know more about that, that's for the tutorial videos that I'll leave on those below. But essentially, there is a different fee depending on if you use a limit order or you take someone else's order with a market order. On Revolut, you can see that as a maker, right now, the fee is nothing. That's wild, that's brilliant. They'll probably up it in the future, but as of making this video, great. Even if you're a taker and use market orders, you're only paying 9 basis points in fees, 0.09%. Very, very, very low and very competitive. And so that's great. So if you can use Revolut X, definitely go ahead and do it. Just download the app, log in with your same account. You can transfer money back and forth for free between Revolut and Revolut X. It's great. You can also see that the exchange rate, the price of Bitcoin that I was trading at the time is much closer to the actual real price of Bitcoin than in Revolut. So I'm getting mostly a real price. Now, these screenshots were taken slightly apart, and so there may be a slight change in price from when I take the screenshots. Basically, what this is the real price of Bitcoin. You can see here, it's almost in line with the screenshot that I took here. So it's the real price of Bitcoin with very low fees. Very, very good. For Crypto.com, you start at 25 basis points for maker and 50 basis points or 0.5% for taker. So a little bit more expensive than Revolut X. However, for the most part, pretty competitive when you look at other exchanges for trading crypto. If you want to go ahead and buy some CRO, which is Crypto.com's coin, then you start to get some benefits and some fee discounts if you hold that in your account as well. That's a crypto asset. It may go up in value, it may go down in value. We're not really sure, but if you do buy some of that, you do get some discounts. You can also see that the price of Bitcoin on Crypto.com exchange is also right in line with the real price. Again, the screenshots were taken slightly differently, so the price can move around. But if you're looking right here, what you're seeing is the real price of Bitcoin, and you're seeing very competitive fees. So if you're trading crypto specifically, make sure you use these apps. So you're just trading the exact same thing with lower fees on both of them. Something else to be aware of is that depending on which assets that you're trading, the fees and charges may be different. So on Revolut, trading crypto is going to be a different charge to trading national currencies. On the standard plan on Revolut, you get actually fee-free exchanges up to £1,000 or dollars or euros a month. Now, there's no fees, but there may still be a spread in the exchange rate between the two currencies that you're trading. On Crypto.com, they actually charge different exchange rates depending on the currency. So we saw that Bitcoin has around a 70 basis point spread, and that's the fee that we're getting charged. If I'm putting US dollars into a US dollar stablecoin, which is basically exactly the same thing, I'm getting charged an exchange rate. You can see USD coin here on the right-hand side, 1.0052. That's 52 basis points or 0.5% more or less. So the exchange rate for putting dollars into a dollar stablecoin is 52 basis points versus buying Bitcoin, which is about 70 basis points or more. So a lot of this is going to change. It depends on your use cases and what you're buying and selling. You'll have to figure out, for what you want to exchange and the amounts that you want to exchange, which is going to be the best. Now, both of these apps also offer subscriptions on a monthly basis or a yearly basis as well, where you can pay a flat fee and then get a reduction in the fees that you get charged and maybe some other bonuses as well. Before comparing these subscription plans, we'll look at the fees for getting money in and out of the exchanges. Revolut, more like a bank, Crypto.com, more like a financial exchange. But in any case, send bank transfers in and out. That's going to be free in. For Revolut, free out. And for Crypto.com, I think for most currencies, it's free out as well. So do that. Do not buy on credit or debit cards on these exchanges. The fees are outrageous, card fees and everything else. So bank transfers in, bank transfers out, easy and free for the most part. If you're sending crypto out of these exchanges because you may be paying someone with a stable coin or you've bought some Bitcoin and you want to take self-custody of it, Revolut is way cheaper. You can see right here. Crypto.com fees for withdrawing crypto from their platform, not great. They do offer some cheaper blockchains where you can send some crypto out for lower fees, but for the major blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the fees are pretty high, so Revolut wins on this one for sure. Now we'll compare these subscription platforms on both Crypto.com and Revolut. For Crypto.com, it's called Level Up. This has changed name a few times, but it's basically the same thing. You pay an amount and you get some bonuses. They've recently added cash subscriptions for these tiers. So for Plus, you pay $5 a month or $500 a year. For Pro, $30 a month or $300 a year. You can also lock up CRO, which is typically how you did it beforehand, which is where you have to buy some CRO coin. CRO is Crypto.com's crypto coin. It's their exchange coin, and they use it as part of their Level Up program. So what you would do is spend $500 or the currency equivalent in your region, and you have $500 worth of CRO, and you have to lock it up for 1 year to get into the program. For Pro, that would be $5,000 worth of CRO. You lock it up for 1 year, and then at the end of the year, you can unlock it, and you have that CRO left, so you can sell it if you want and get out of the program. CRO, though, is a crypto asset, so it can go up or down in value. So, for example, if you put $500 worth into CRO, you get all of these bonuses for a year, and then at the end of the year, let's say CRO went up in value, you may get $700 back. So you made money on the CRO and you got these bonuses. However, it can go down in the year as well. So it may go down to $300, and then you've basically paid $200 for these bonuses. Once you have the CRO, you can, of course, unlock it and sell it for cash if you want, but the price may have changed. If you aren't comfortable with that, you can just pay a cash subscription charge if you want as well. You can see here 0 trading fees. Sounds good. I looked in the terms and conditions, and it also says there may still be spreads in the price that you pay. So basically, they're still charging you a spread. It may be a little bit less than the one that you would typically get, but it's not exactly 0 trading fees. So just be sure about the price that you're paying for your assets. You can see you get some interest on cash balance as well. That's great. This is going to go down and up with interest rates, right? They can only pay you the amount of interest on cash that they get in money markets, right? So this is great for now, but that may go down, may go up depending on interest rates. 2% cash back on the card or 3% cash back on the card. This is not cash back. When you spend on the card, you actually get CRO as a bonus. So what you do, take money from your bank, put it into Crypto.com, charge the card with it, spend in a shop. Whatever you spend, that 2% back will come back on the balance that you spend, but it will be in CRO coin. Now, if you want actual cash back, then you'd have to trade out of CRO coin on the exchange back into cash, and you'd get charged a 70 basis point to 1% charge on that. So that immediately goes back to 1% cash back, not 2% cash back. However, if you just want to rack up your CRO, you can do that, and then you can use it for locking up next time if you want to keep it in the Level Up program, or maybe even go up a tier and get some better bonuses. Revolut have more subscription tiers than Crypto.com. So you have Standard, Plus, Premium, and Metal. So for Plus, you get some higher interest rates on your cash balances. Premium, that goes up again. For Metal, you get all of that, and travel insurance. And the higher tier that you have, the more fee-free trading you get each month. So for example, with Plus, you can see you get interest on savings. Again, this is going to change along with interest rates, right? They just put the cash into money market funds. So the government changes the interest rate, it's going to change in your account. But you get higher amounts. You get more of that the higher you go. Commission-free stock trading, you get 3 per month. As you go up in the tiers, that becomes more and more. For travel, as you can see, weekend exchange fees are cheaper, and you get $3,000 a month in fee-free exchanges versus in the standard plan, you only get $1,000 per month. You also get some rev points, which is essentially a very small amount of cash back, and some other bonuses, as you can see. Now, for Revolut, they really existed initially to exchange one fiat currency for another so that you could go on holiday and have euros, for example, and spend on euros, right? Even though you're English, you have an English account. So you take your pounds, switch it into euros on your card, spend on your card in Europe. For Crypto.com, you don't have to do that. You just load the card with your currency and go and spend in a different country. And you can see, I recently went on holiday. The exchange rate doesn't have any extra fee in it, at least for me. This may change in your region. But the amount I spent, if you look at the actual exchange rate, that is the market exchange rate, the interbank rate that they charged. No fees on top or anything like that. And I got the cash back as well. So that's really great. And for Revolut, you have to go through the step of changing your currency into the other currency in your account, having that balance, loading it on your card, and then spending it. And the exchange rate may be fee. It's just an extra step For Crypto.com, you don't do that. You just leave the cash in your card account, spend it in a different country. They'll do the exchange rate. They actually put the cash back in your account as well. But I know, and I checked this is the interbank rate, so there's no extra fees for the Crypto.com card. Same for Revolut as well. There's no extra fees once you've exchanged one currency for another in your account. Revolut is a more seasoned platform than Crypto.com. If you're looking to exchange national currencies or send currencies abroad, that's Revolut. Revolut is also regulated much like a bank in a lot of regions. So for example, in the UK, they are part of the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. That means that if Revolut as a business goes bankrupt, your cash balances would be protected by the UK government and paid back to you. That's going to change depending on your region. As far as I'm aware, Crypto.com aren't part of this, and therefore cash balances aren't protected. Assets that you hold on these platforms like stocks or crypto are not part of those schemes either. So if these companies go bankrupt, then you'll be part of the bankruptcy estate and may get back less than you had in there. I don't expect that to happen, but just to be aware. International remittances of cash, it's Revolut. Crypto.com are adding more cash balances and international remittances in the future. It is part of their roadmap. So this may be available when you're watching and it may be great. I can't make a comment on that right now as they don't have it. But of course, stablecoin remittances are getting way more popular. So you can just have a stablecoin, send it around anywhere basically for free and just have dollar balances in your account very easily with Crypto.com. You can do that with actual fiat currency with Revolut as well. In terms of foreign exchange, it's going to be Revolut, right? But if you're just using stablecoins, so you're buying Bitcoin or going into a US dollar stablecoin, and that's basically everything you do, and you spend on the card in Crypto.com, you're going to get much of the same use case. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, depends what your use case is. The Crypto.com bonus I'll link below. I'll link Revolut below as well. They may or may not give a bonus when you're watching this, and other helpful videos on using the platforms will be linked down in the description as well. I'm James, it's MoneyDG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.